Hello friends, good evening and welcome to Super Coaching Regulatory Bodies by Testbook, and also welcome to the class, welcome to the session of practice batch where we are discussing the most important MCQs which have a high probability of being asked in the examination of upcoming RBI Grade B Phase 2 as well as the NABARD Grade A Phase 2 examination. So today also, as a part of this series, we would be discussing 20 other important MCQs which would be completely based on the concepts which are important and which have a high probability of being asked in the examination. So चलिए start करते हैं discussion. So discussion guys, this is the achievers question. You know the rule that in every session at the end we discuss the achievers question, and those who give the right answer of the achievers question in the comment box, we display their name in our next session, right? So similarly, in yesterday's session, I have given you the achievers question, and the question is basically which of the following best describes depreciation? This was the question. So options are the increase in the value of an asset over time due to market conditions, the amount by which a company's profit decrease due to taxes, the allocation of the cost of a tangible asset over its useful life, the total market value of all final goods and services produced within a country, then the financial benefit received from holding an asset over time. So these are the basically options. So what do you think, what is the right answer here? Right answer would be option number C, that is the allocation of the cost of a tangible asset over its useful life. So if I give you the example of depreciation, suppose today if you purchase a car, right? If you purchase a car worth rupees 8 lakh, you are using it for next 2 years. But suppose if after 2 years, if you want to sell this car and you want to upgrade your car collection basically, so what you can do, you can simply sell it, but you cannot sell it at the same price which you have purchased, right? On which you have purchased. So basically you can sell it at 5 lakh, 6 lakh, 7 lakh, 4 lakh, whatever amount it can be, but that can definitely be less than 8 lakhs. Why this is so? Because over the period of 2 years, its value has been depreciated, and that is why you cannot sell the same car which you have bought at rupees 8 lakh. You cannot sell the same car at the same amount, right? So this is the concept of depreciation. So C would be the right answer, that is the allocation of the cost of tangible assets over its useful life. चलिए, but यहाँ पे you can see achievers वाला slide completely blank है because no one has given the right answer of this question, so that is why it is completely blank. And also at the end of this session, I would give you basically achiever question which you have to answer in the comment box, and we would be discussing the achievers in the next session itself. चलिए start करते हैं. Question number first is, what is the question number first? Question number first is, who published the first authentic economic study of British India in the book titled Poverty and Un-British Rule in India? So यहाँ पे who published the first authentic economic study of British India, जो book था basically Poverty and the Un-British Rule in India. इस book में basically it was presented the economic study of British India basically. So who wrote this book? So options are बाल गंगाधर तिलक, महात्मा गांधी, जवाहरलाल नेहरू, दादाभाई नौरोजी and the रविंद्रनाथ टैगोर. So you have to participate along with me so that यहाँ पे एक इंटरेक्टिव सेशन बनाते हैं इसको, ताकि आप भी यहाँ पे पढ़ने में आपको मजा आए, मुझे पढ़ाने में मजा आए. तो राइट आंसर वुड बी ऑप्शन नंबर डी हियर, दैट इज दादाभाई नौरोजी. दादाभाई नौरोजी पब्लिश्ड this particular book, that is Poverty and the Un-British Rule in India. So the first authentic economic study of British India was published by Dadabhai Naoroji in his book Poverty and the Un-British Rule in India. Dadabhai Naoroji's work focused on the drain of wealth from India into England through colonial rule. One of the reasons that the drain theory is attributed to Naoroji is his decision to estimate the net national profit of India, and by extension the effect that colonization has on the country. ठीक है, चलिए मूविंग ऑन टू द क्वेश्चन नंबर 2. क्वेश्चन नंबर 2 इज, विच प्लान prepared in 1944 by 8 industrialists from Bombay outlined a strategy for India's economic development and is known for envisioning the doubling of per capita income in 15 years. Options are 5-year plan, Bombay plan, Nehru Mahalanobis plan, Gandhian plan or Tata Birla plan. So which of the following plan basically was focusing on the doubling of per capita income in 15 years, which was prepared in 1944. So right answer would be option number B, that is Bombay plan, right? And this is a part of economic history of India, very important topic, economic history of India, right? तो ये आपके लिए बहुत important topic है that you have to prepare. So here you can read as well. The Bombay plan was prepared in 1944 by 8 prominent industrialists from Bombay, including J.R.D. Tata, G.D. Birla and others. This plan aimed to double India's per capita income in 15 years and triple the national income during this period. Although Jawaharlal Nehru did not officially accept the plan, but many of its ideas were later incorporated into the other economic plans. Friends, you all have to participate along with me. So live chat box is open for you. So whenever I am discussing the question, just mark this question in the comment box so that we can discuss it whether it is right or wrong. So do not worry about the wrong attempt क्योंकि यहाँ पे कोई penalty का provision नहीं है. And these are the sessions where you can commit mistakes. That is why we are conducting this session so that you can learn something, you can commit mistake so that in the actual examination you should avoid committing the mistakes, right? चलिए, moving on to the question number third. Question number third is which plan drafted by M.N. Roy on behalf of the Indian Federation of Lahore was based on Marxist socialism and prioritized the nationalization of agriculture and production. So options are Bombay Plan, Gandhian Plan, Pupils Plan, Nehru Mahalanobis Plan and the Tata Birla Plan. बताइए. The plan which was focusing on basically the prioritization of the nationalization of agriculture and production in the economy. So the plan is basically option number C, that is Pupils Plan, right? So Pupils Plan was drafted by M.N. Roy for a 10-year period and gave the greatest priority to agriculture. The main feature of this plan was the nationalization of all agriculture and production. It was based on Marxist socialism and was drafted by M.N. Roy on behalf of the Indian Federation of Lahore. Right? Chaliye. Moving on to the question number fourth. Question number fourth is which plan drafted by Shriman Narayan, principal of Wardha Commerce College, emphasized economic decentralization and prioritized rural development through the promotion of cottage industries. Options are Bombay Plan, Gandhian Plan, Pupils Plan, Nehru Mahalanobis Plan and the Tata Birla Plan. Read all these statements very carefully because this can be asked in the examination. These all are based on the static information, static concepts from the different topics, right? And static part is very, very important so that you have to understand the things and you have to attempt the things in the examination if it is asked in the examination, right? So what is the right answer here? Right answer would be option number B, that is Gandhian Plan. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे देखिए Gandhian Plan was drafted by Shriman Narayan, principal of Wardha Commerce College. This plan emphasized economic decentralization with a primary focus on rural development through the promotion of cottage industries. It aimed to develop rural areas by enhancing small scale local industries, reflecting the economic philosophy of Mahatma Gandhi. Though these all are factual things, but yes, they are important. Question number fifth is which plan drafted by Jay Prakash Narayan in 1950, that is JP Narayan, and inspired by the Gandhian plan and Sarvodaya ideas of Vinoba Bhave, emphasized agriculture, small and cottage industries and suggested freedom from foreign technology. बताइए, ऑप्शंस आर बॉम्बे प्लान, गांधीयन प्लान, सर्वोदय प्लान, पीपल्स प्लान और नेहरू महानलोविस प्लान. फ्रेंड्स, यू गाइस आर नॉट पार्टिसिपेटिंग, डू लेट मी नो इन द चैट बॉक्स, तभी मजा आएगा यहाँ पे पढ़ने में और पढ़ाने में. बताइए गाइस, व्हाट डू यू थिंक? Do not worry about the wrong attempts. Do commit mistakes in these sessions only. So right answer is option number C, that is Sarvodaya Plan. ठीक है, तो Sarvodaya Plan was drafted by Jay Prakash Narayan, but it was inspired by the Gandhian Plan and the Sarvodaya idea of the Vinoba Bhave. ठीक है, तो जो सर्वोदय जो आइडिया था बेसिकली इसका मतलब होता है सबका उदय. ठीक है, so everyone should grow together, right? So सबका उदय बेसिकली हो, this is सर्वोदय and this was the idea of Vinoba Bhave. The plan emphasized the importance of agriculture and small and cottage industries. Additionally, it advocated for freedom from foreign technology, stressed the need for land reforms, and promoted decentralized participatory planning, reflecting the values of self-sufficiency and the grassroots development. Question number 6. In which year was the rolling plan introduced in India? Rolling plan, ठीक है, rolling plan कब introduce किया गया था? Options are 1965, 1970, 1975, 1978 और 1980. So बताइए, when was the rolling plan introduced in India? So rolling plan was introduced in 1978. So basically rolling plan was introduced in 1978 by the जनता पार्टी गवर्नमेंट. तो बेसिकली हुआ क्या, जो हमारा प्लान चल रहा था 5 ईयर प्लान, बेसिकली उसको खत्म होना था कब, 1979 में, बट यहाँ पे इन्होंने आके उससे बेसिकली क्या करिए, टर्मिनेट कर दिया एंड दे इंट्रोड्यूस द रोलिंग प्लान अलाउड फॉर एनुअल रिविजन्स प्रोवाइडिंग फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी टू अडेप्ट द चेंजिंग इकोनॉमिक कंडीशंस एंड प्रायोरिटीज. ठीक है। तो यहाँ पे बेसिकली हुआ क्या फ्रेंड्स, बेसिकली यहाँ पर द थिंग इज कि यहाँ पे वेन एवर वी प्लान फॉर 5 years, तो अकॉर्डिंगली वी एम्प्लॉय द रिसोर्सेज। तो यहाँ पे इकोनॉमी में क्या कर रहे थे, हम 5 year प्लान के अकॉर्डिंग सारे रिसोर्सेज हम यहाँ पे यूटिलाइज कर रहे थे, जिसके चलते यहाँ पे वी एंडेड अप यूजिंग अ लॉट ऑफ रिसोर्सेज। ठीक है, जिसके चलते यहाँ पे रिसोर्सेज को इफेक्टिव यूटिलाइजेशन नहीं हो पा रहा था, एंड दैट इज वाई जनता पार्टी गवर्नमेंट केम इन द पिक्चर एंड दे डिसकंटिन्यूड द 5 year प्लान्स एंड दे स्टार्टेड द रोलिंग प्लान। बेसिकली यहाँ पे रोलिंग प्लान में क्या था कि एनुअल बेसिस पर यहाँ पे चीजों का रिव्यू करना है, एंड एनुअली बेसिकली यहाँ पे रिवीजन करना पड़ेगा वेन एवर देर इज अ नीड ऑन एन एनुअल बेसिस की ये चीज अच्छे से परफॉर्म नहीं कर रही है, ये चीज अच्छे से परफॉर्म करी, उसका पूरा असेसमेंट करके बेसिकली रिसोर्सेज को वापस से री एम्प्लॉय करना, राइट। Now, question number 7th is which strategy associated with India's 5 year plans emphasized balanced regional development and was named after the deputy chairman of the planning commission during the fourth 5 year plan? Options are Mahalanobis strategy, Gadgil strategy, Rao Manmohan strategy, Kothari strategy और रंगाराजन strategy. बताइए। So the right answer would be option number B, that is Gadgil strategy. ठीक है। So the Gadgil strategy named after D.R. Gadgil, the deputy chairman of the planning commission during India's fourth 5 year plan, emphasized balanced regional development. तो Gadgil strategy में क्या बात हो रही थी, balanced regional development, मतलब जो हमारे सारे रीजन्स हैं वहां पे सब जगह बैलेंस डेवलपमेंट होना चाहिए। ठीक है, ऐसा नहीं कि हमने किसी रीजन को बहुत ज्यादा रिसोर्सेज लगाकर उसे डेवलप कर लिए, बाकी रीजन्स उसकी कॉस्ट में पीछे रह गए। सो बैलेंस रीजनल डेवलपमेंट शुड बी फोकस्ड ऑन, राइट। Further, this strategy aimed to reduce regional disparities जो होती थी by allocating more resources to the less developed states। जो less developed states हैं वहां पर more resources should be allocated। Then the focus was on ensuring equitable distribution of investments and fostering inclusive growth across different regions of India. The Gadgil strategy played a crucial role in addressing regional imbalances and promoting economic development in the underdeveloped areas. Moving on to the question number 8. Question number 8 is during which period did India observe a plan holiday? ठीक है, किस पीरियड में इंडिया ने प्लान हॉलीडे यहाँ पे बेसिकली देखा है, मार्किंग अ ब्रेक इन द सीक्वेंस ऑफ 5 year प्लान्स। ऑप्शंस आर 1962 to 65, 1966 से 69, 71 to 74, 75 to 78 और 1980 to 83। बताइए, ड्यूरिंग विच 5 year प्लान इंडिया ऑब्जर्व्ड अ प्लान हॉलीडे? सो राइट आंसर वुड बी ऑप्शन नंबर बी, बिटवीन 1966 से 1969 के बीच में इंडिया ऑब्जर्व्ड अ प्लान हॉलीडे। प्लान हॉलीडे मतलब वहां पर 5 year प्लान्स जो थे बेसिकली वो नहीं थे। ठीक है, प्लान जो हमारे 5 year प्लान्स थे उनसे ब्रेक लिया गया और वहां पे एनुअल बेसिस पे प्लान को लॉन्च किया गया यहाँ पे, ताकि एनुअल बेसिस पे यहाँ पे असेसमेंट हो सके, प्रॉपर तरीके से हम ट्रैक कर सके, एंड दिस इज द प्लान हॉलीडे। ठीक है, द पीरियड ऑफ प्लान हॉलीडे इज द 1966 to 69। सो इंडिया ऑब्जर्व्ड अ प्लान हॉलीडे फ्रॉम 66 to 69। This break in the sequence of 5 year plans was primarily due to the economic challenges of the country faced, including droughts, wars, devaluation of the currency, and during this period also, instead of full-fledged 5 year plan, annual plans were formulated to stabilize the economy and address immediate issues. The plan holiday allowed the government to focus on short-term measures and prepare for the subsequent fourth 5 year plan, which commenced in 1969. Question number 9 is the slogan Garibi Hatao, that is remove poverty, was prominently associated with which 5 year plan in India? Options are second 5 year plan, third 5 year plan, fourth 5 year plan, fifth 5 year plan or the sixth 5 year plan. Do let me know friends, we are talking about Garibi Hatao, so it was associated with the fifth 5 year plan। अब ऐसा नहीं कि fifth 5 year plan Garibi Hatao was not the agenda, right? तो बेसिकली it was the agenda since inception, ठीक है, since the first 5 year plan, but the thing is basically the slogan which was adopted, and that was adopted in the fifth 5 year plan. The slogan Garibi Hatao was prominently associated with India's fifth 5 year plan. This plan was launched under the leadership of Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, who emphasized poverty alleviation as central goal. Though strategy aimed to address the basic needs of the poorest section of society through various social welfare programs and economic reforms, Garibi Hatao became a key political slogan and represented the government's commitment to reducing poverty and improving the living standards of the disadvantaged population. Question number 10 is the point program launched in India to address various socio-economic issues was introduced during which 5-year plan? Options are second 5-year plan, third 5-year plan, fourth 5-year plan, fifth 5-year plan, or the sixth 5-year plan. बताइए friends, we are talking about 20-point program. So right answer would be option number D here, that is fifth 5-year plan, right? तो यहाँ पे you can see the 20-point program was introduced in the fifth 5-year plan launched in 1975 by Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. This program aimed to address critical areas such as poverty alleviation, employment generation, rural development. It focused on 20 specific points, and that is why it is known as 20-point program. So it was focused on basically 20 specific points, and that is why it is known as 20-point program, and that included improving agriculture productivity, healthcare, education and infrastructure, etc. The program was a key initiative for promoting socio-economic development and addressing the needs of the poorer sections of the society. Question number 11. What distinguishes relative poverty from absolute poverty? बताइए. What distinguishes relative poverty from absolute poverty? Options are relative poverty considers income levels below a specific threshold, whereas absolute poverty compares income levels between different countries. Option number B, relative poverty is a measure of income inequality within a specific country, whereas absolute poverty is a measure of income sufficiency for basic needs. Then relative poverty is defined based on fixed income thresholds, whereas absolute poverty takes into account the cost of living in different regions. Absolute poverty considers income in relation to the average income in a country, whereas relative poverty considers income relative to the cost of basic needs. Option number E is absolute poverty is a global measure of income insufficiency, whereas relative poverty varies based on regional economic conditions. So what do you think? What is the right answer of this question, guys? Do let me know in the chat box. What is the right answer here? So right answer is option number B here, that is relative poverty is a measure of income inequality within a specific country, whereas absolute poverty is a measure of income sufficiency for basic needs. So for example, if I give you a thresholds, right? For example, poverty line is rupees 1000. I'm just taking an example, right? So poverty line is based on income. So if you are earning income of rupees 1000 or more every month, so you would be above the poverty line. If you are earning income less than 1000 per month, then you would be what? Below poverty line. So there is a fixed threshold, right? Absolute concept jo hota hai, that is based on the fixed threshold. For example, during the college, during the school time, you can see that in order to clear a paper, you just needed to score 33 marks or 40 marks, right? So this is the absolute concept. You know very well, once you score 33 marks or 40 marks, as the case may be, you can clear this particular paper, right? Because this is the absolute concept here. Similarly, when we talk about the poverty, so there is a fixed threshold. After achieving that threshold, that person would be above the poverty line. And if that person is not able to achieve that threshold, then that person would be below poverty line. So this is the absolute concept. When we talk about the relative concept, the relative concept is all about comparison, right? All about comparison. For example, you might be able to fulfill all your basic necessities, ठीक है? उसके बाद भी आप किसी न आपके ऊपर कोई ना कोई होगा, जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल अंबानी जी, ठीक है? अंबानी जी से नीचे कुछ लोग होंगे और कुछ लोग नीचे होंगे और कुछ लोग नीचे होंगे. सो देयर इज अ कंपैरिजन इन द रिलेटिव कंसेप्ट. जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल इन स्कूल डेज और इन कॉलेज डेज आपके अगर 60 मार्क्स आ गए, ठीक है, शर्मा जी के बेटे के 70 मार्क्स आ गए, तो योर फादर डेफिनेटली आपसे बोलेंगे कि आपके 60 मार्क्स आए हैं, शर्मा जी के बेटे के 70 मार्क्स आए. व्हाई दिस इज सो? बिकॉज ही इज कंपेयरिंग योर मार्क्स. ही इज कंपेयरिंग योर मार्क्स विद शर्मा जी सन्स मार्क्स, राइट? तो बेसिकली यहाँ पे दिस इज द कंसेप्ट ऑफ रिलेटिव पॉवर्टी. रिलेटिव पॉवर्टी में भी हम देख रहे हैं यहाँ पे जब हम पॉवर्टी मेजर कर रहे हैं, दैट वी आर मेजरिंग विद इन द कंपेरिजन ऑफ अदर पर्सन, ठीक है? तो यहाँ पे हो सकता है आप पॉवर्टी, आप पुअर हो भी ना, बट स्टिल आप कंपेरेटिवली पुअर होंगे, ठीक है? वो पर्सन भी कंपैरेटिवली किसी से पुअर होगा. सो आई होप यू आर गेटिंग इट. एब्सोल्यूट पॉवर्टी इज अ कंसेप्ट ऑफ बेसिकली फिक्स्ड बेस्ड ऑन फिक्स्ड थ्रेशोल्ड. So after achieving that threshold, you would not be counted as poor person. But if I tell you about the relative poverty, so that is based on the comparison part, right? So that is why option number B is correct. So relative poverty is a measure of income inequality within a specific country, whereas absolute poverty is a measure of income sufficiency for basic needs. Relative poverty is determined within the context of a specific country or society, focusing on income disparities and inequality among its population. तो बात करें relative poverty की, so it focuses on income disparities and inequality among its population. Absolute poverty की बात करें, so on the other hand defines poverty based on a fixed threshold. So you know, you just have to score 40 marks, you just have to score 33 marks, you just have to earn rupees 1000 per month in order to get rid of below poverty line, right? So this is a fixed threshold concept. ठीक है जी, चलिए मूविंग ऑन टू द क्वेश्चन नंबर 12. क्वेश्चन नंबर 12 इज अकॉर्डिंग टू द स्टेटमेंट which best describes situational poverty. So according to the statement that we are going to discuss, which of the following best describes situational poverty? Options are: situational poverty is caused by chronic lack of access to education and employment opportunities. Situational poverty arises from temporary setbacks such as natural disasters or sudden illness. Situational poverty is primarily due to intergenerational transmission of economic disadvantage. Situational poverty results from structural inequalities within the economic system. And situational poverty is caused by long-term unemployment and persistent low wages. Do let me know, what do you think? Which of the following best describes the situational poverty? So right answer would be option number B, that is situational poverty arises from temporary setbacks such as natural disaster or sudden illness. तो ये जो बेसिकली आपके लाइफ में जो टेम्पररी सेटबैक आए उससे पहले आप अबव पॉवर्टी लाइन थे, राइट? बट ड्यू टू सम टेम्पररी सेटबैक्स यू बिकेम पुअर. फॉर एग्जाम्पल आपका एक बिजनेस था, ठीक है, बहुत अच्छा बिजनेस है आपका, नहीं किसी पर्सन का ले ले, थर्ड पर्सन का, मान लीजिए कोई मिस्टर एक्स है, उसका बहुत अच्छा बिजनेस चल रहा है, बट उनके फैमिली में किसी को कैंसर हो गया, राइट? दिस इज अ सीवियर इलनेस. तो सीवियर इलनेस के चलते बेसिकली उनका जो सारे रिसोर्सेज है वो बेसिकली उसके ट्रीटमेंट में लग गए एंड दैट इज वाई ही बिकेम पुअर, राइट? सो यहाँ पे टेम्पररी सेटबैक होता है, बट यहाँ पे एक चीज ये होती है कि इफ that person is provided assistance, then he can get rid of this particular situation, right? So this is a situational poverty that arises due to some situation. So situational poverty refers to temporary condition where individuals or families experience poverty due to a specific, often unexpected events such as natural disasters like earthquakes or floods or serious illness. तो यहाँ पे poverty arises because of some important situation, कुछ ऐसी situation हो रही है जिसके चलते यहाँ पे जो poverty है वो arise हो रही है, ठीक है? चलिए मूविंग ऑन टू द क्वेश्चन नंबर 13. क्वेश्चन नंबर 13 इज विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग बेस्ट डिस्क्राइब्स मल्टी डायमेंशनल पॉवर्टी? बताइए, विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग बेस्ट डिस्क्राइब्स मल्टी डायमेंशनल पॉवर्टी? ऑप्शंस आर: मल्टी डायमेंशनल पॉवर्टी इज solely defined by low income levels relative to a specific threshold. Multidimensional poverty encompasses various factors such as poor health, lack of education, inadequate living standards, and others. Then option number C, multidimensional poverty focuses primarily on income disparities within a society. Multidimensional poverty is a measure of economic inequality based on wealth distribution. And multidimensional poverty is determined by the level of economic growth and development in a country. So what do you think? Which of the following best describes multidimensional poverty? So right answer of this question would be option number B, that is multidimensional poverty encompasses various factors such as poor health, lack of education, inadequate living standards and others. तो यहाँ पे जो poverty है वो किसी एक डायमेंशन के चलते नहीं है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल यू आर नॉट हैविंग अ रेगुलर सोर्स ऑफ इनकम, दिस कैन बी अ सिंगल डायमेंशन, राइट? बट यहाँ पे जो पॉवर्टी है दैट इज बिकॉज ऑफ डिफरेंट मल्टीपल डायमेंशंस, ठीक है? तो यहाँ पे पुअर हेल्थ भी है, लैक ऑफ एजुकेशन इज ऑल्सो देयर, इनएडिक्वेट लिविंग इज ऑल्सो देयर, you are not having a regular source of income, so there are multiple dimensions to the poverty and that is why it is known as multi-dimensional poverty, because poverty is not associated with any single dimension, rather it is associated with multi dimensions and that is why it is known as multi-dimensional poverty. Clear hai? Let's read this. So multidimensional poverty goes beyond a single dimension such as income and consider a range of factors that contribute to a person's household experience of deprivation. As described in the statement also, these factors can include poor health, lack of education, inadequate housing, income insufficiency, disempowerment, poor quality of work, vulnerability to violence, etc. So that is why it is known as multi-dimensional poverty. चलिए moving on to the question number 14th. Question number 14th is, what is the term used to describe the threshold level of expenditure necessary to meet basic living standards? Do let me know which of the following term is used to describe the threshold level of expenditure necessary to meet basic living standards. Options are minimum wage, subsistence level, basic income level, poverty line, or living wage. What do you think? What is the right answer, guys? Do let me know. I want your participation in the chat box. So do let me know in the chat box. Even if you are committing mistakes, do not worry about that. We do not have a provision of negative marking here. So these sessions are conducted so that you can learn something from this session, and also you can commit n number of mistakes in these sessions only, so that you cannot commit mistakes in the actual examination. So do not worry about the attempting the question incorrectly. Attempt the question incorrectly. Do not worry about the mistakes. So right answer would be option number D here, that is poverty line, right? So we are discussing about that, what is the term used to describe the threshold level of expenditure necessary to meet the basic living standards, right? So for example, if I am saying that 1000 rupees, 1000 is a basically what? Poverty line. This is the poverty line. I'm just taking an example, right? So what does it mean? It means basically that you have to spend 1000 rupees every month. So if you are spending rupees 1000 or more every month, then you would be considered as above poverty line. Similarly, when you are spending rupees 1000, less than 1000 rupees every month, then you would be considered as in the below poverty line, right? So this is the basically, that is why here we are talking about the threshold level of expenditure necessary to meet the basic living standards. So the term poverty line refers to the threshold level of expenditure that is necessary for an individual or family to meet basic living standards, which include essential needs such as food, clothing, and shelter. This concept is used to determine the minimum income required to avoid poverty and is a key metric in assessing economic well-being and identifying those in need of financial assistance. ठीक है, चलिए मूविंग ऑन टू द क्वेश्चन नंबर 15. ड्यूरिंग विच 5 year प्लान डिड इंडियन गवर्नमेंट नेशनलाइज 14 मेजर बैंक्स? 14 मेजर बैंक्स इंडियन गवर्नमेंट ने कौन से 5 year प्लान में बेसिकली नेशनलाइज किए थे? एंड व्हाट डू आई मीन बाय द नेशनलाइजेशन ऑफ बैंक? बेसिकली यहाँ पे गवर्नमेंट का कंट्रोल होना, मतलब द शेयर होल्डिंग, द मेजोरिटी शेयर होल्डिंग विल बी बाय द गवर्नमेंट ओनली. ठीक है, सो यहाँ पे गवर्नमेंट का कंट्रोल हो गया. दैट मीन्स this particular thing is being nationalized. So options are first 5 year plan, second 5 year plan, third 5 year plan, fourth 5 year plan, or the fifth 5 year plan. Friends, I am waiting for a reply. Do let me know. बताइए यहाँ पर during which 5 year plan did the Indian government nationalize 14 major banks? So it is in the period of fourth 5 year plan, that is 1969 से 74 में, राइट? सो यहाँ पे बेसिकली द नेशनलाइजेशन ऑफ 14 मेजर इंडियन बैंक्स एंड द सिग्निफिकेंट एडवांसमेंट इन एग्रीकल्चर ड्यू टू द ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन अकर्ड ड्यूरिंग द फोर्थ 5 year प्लान. The nationalization of banks in 1969 aimed to ensure better control over credit delivery, while the Green Revolution introduced high-yielding varieties of seeds and improved irrigation techniques, leading to a substantial increase in agricultural productivity. Right? So, यहाँ पे one thing you have to remember. If you remember this year only, 1969 में there was a nationalization of 14 banks. That then also you can reach to the right answer if they ask with respect to the in which 5 year plan government has nationalized 14 banks. ठीक है? Now, why there is a need to nationalize the bank? Suppose you know very well that agriculture sector is very vulnerable, right? And banks banks are reluctant to give credit to the agriculture sector. Why? Because they have a basically mindset that farmers may यहाँ पे जो है farmers जो है basically it can make a default, right, in order to repay the payment of loan, right? So what will happen basically, यहाँ पे we had to introduce the green revolution. उसके लिए what is needed? उसके लिए basically need थी यहाँ पे pesticides की, there is a need of fertilizers, right? ये सारी चीजों के लिए, but farmers did not have money, right? So what farmers will do? Farmers would go to the bank and they ask for the money, but bank refused to give them money, right? So it was not possible for the farmers to manage all these things, and that is why after seeing this situation, government had to nationalize the banks, so that यहाँ पे जब गवर्नमेंट कंट्रोल में आ जाएंगे बैंक्स, देन इन दैट केस गवर्नमेंट उनको प्रॉपर तरीके से लोन भी दे सकती, बिकॉज नाउ ओनरशिप इज विद द गवर्नमेंट ओनली. सो गवर्नमेंट देन स्टार्टेड गिविंग लोन्स टू द फार्मर्स एंड वी इफेक्टिवली इंप्लीमेंटेड द ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन, जिसका हमें रिजल्ट ही पता है, काफी अच्छा रिजल्ट रहा है, राइट? एंड दिस इज व्हाई द बैंक्स वर नेशनलाइज्ड. क्वेश्चन नंबर 16 इज What was the primary purpose of the minimum needs program introduced in the fifth 5-year plan? Options are to increase industrial production, to provide basic minimum needs to improve living standards, to promote foreign trade, to develop large scale infrastructure projects, to enhance higher education and research facilities. Do let me know, guys, what was the primary purpose of the minimum needs program introduced in the fifth 5-year plan? So first of all, the very important fact that you have to observe here, that you have to understand कि in the fifth 5-year plan the minimum needs program was launched, right? So this was basically, you have to understand. So in the question also you can see some important facts which you can note, and that can be asked in the examination. So what do you think? What is the basically primary purpose of the minimum needs program which was introduced in the fifth 5-year plan? Options are to increase industrial production, to provide basic minimum needs to improve living standards, to promote foreign trade, to develop large scale infrastructure projects, to enhance higher education and research facilities. So the right answer would be option number B, that is to provide basic minimum needs to improve living standards. You can see, guys, the name of the program is minimum needs program. Then you can easily identify what can be the purpose of this particular program. That is to provide basic minimum needs to improve living standards. रोटी कपड़ा और मकान प्रोवाइड करना किसको, जिनको नीड है बेसिकली, राइट? सो मिनिमम नीड्स प्रोग्राम इंट्रोड्यूस्ड इन द फर्स्ट year of the fifth 5-year plan, that is 1974 to 78, aimed at provide basic minimum needs such as elementary education हो गया, health care, drinking water, housing and nutrition. The primary purpose of this program was to improve living standards for the poorest segments of the population, addressing basic needs to ensure a minimum quality of life for all citizens, and this initiative was a critical component of the plan's broader strategy to reduce poverty and promote social welfare. Right? चलिए, moving ahead to the question number 17. What is the uniform reference period in the context of measuring poverty? बताइए, uniform reference period क्या होता है, guys? Do let me know in the chat box. So options are: it involved asking about annual income over a year. It collected data based on a weekly recall period. It was based on the recall of consumption expenditure in the period in the previous 7 days. It involved asking people about their consumption expenditure over a 30-day recall, monthly income and savings over a month. I'm waiting for a reply. Do let me know. Do let me know, guys, what do you think? What is the right answer here with respect to the uniform reference period? Now, first thing, you have to understand what is the यूनिफॉर्म रेफरेंस पीरियड, राइट? सो देखिए, यहां पे बेसिकली हम क्या कर रहे हैं, यहां पे इफ आई एम सेइंग कि इंडिया में जो पॉवर्टी है दैट इज अराउंड 10%, जस्ट टेकिंग एन एग्जांपल, राइट? सो इफ आई एम टेकिंग दिस फिगर, सो हाउ डू आई नो और हाउ वुड गवर्नमेंट नो, राइट? सो गवर्नमेंट विल कंडक्ट द सर्वे इन ऑर्डर टू नो कि हाउ मेनी पीपल fall under the into the below poverty line. So for that government needs to conduct the survey itself, right? So सर्वे कैसे करेंगे? सर्वे करेंगे, डोर टू डोर सर्वे होगा बेसिकली, एंड द सर्वेयर विल आस्क की हाउ मच यू हैव स्पेंट ऑन द इन द एक पर्टिकुलर पीरियड में, राइट? देन ओनली दैट पर्सन विल गेट, द सर्वेयर विल गेट टू नो कि वेदर दैट पर्सन इज फॉलिंग बिलो द पॉवर्टी लाइन और अबव द पॉवर्टी लाइन. सो यहाँ पे in order to conduct the survey there are different approaches. There are different approaches when government conducts survey. So one of the approach is uniform reference period. So what happens in the uniform reference period? Surveyors asks people about their consumption expenditure over a 30-day recall period, right? That is why D is the answer. So I tell you basically, so if in the 30 period, suppose I am saying ki 1000 rupees is the poverty line, right? If any person is spending rupees 1000 every month, then that person is not poor, and those who are not spending rupees 1000 every month, they are poor. If I am defining this particular thing, right, then when survey is conducted, in that case the surveyor will ask you what is your expenditure in the previous 30 days. In the previous 30 days, so in the previous 30 days, in what items you have spent, how much money you have spent, right? So that I would like to know. Based on that I would be deciding whether you fall below the poverty line or above the poverty line, right? So ये important है. So if that person has spent basically 1000 rupees in the previous 30 days, then it would not be considered as a poor. If that person has not spent rupees 1000 in the previous 30 days, so in that case he would be considered as poor person, right? So the uniform reference period, what is happening, it was a method used to measure poverty until 1993-94, where the poverty line was based on data collected by asking individuals about their consumption expenditure over a 30-day recall period. So यहाँ पे जो recall period है, that is 30 day, right? This method involved gathering information on what people remembered spending on consumption in the previous 30 days. The data collected through this recall period was then used to estimate the poverty line and assess the proportion of the population living below it, right? So I would be asking the person, if I am a surveyor, I would be asking the person how much money you have spent in the previous 30 days, and if that person has spent suppose 1000 or more, so he would be considered as basically above poverty line, and if he has not spent rupees 1000 in the last 30 days, then he would be considered as the poor person, right? Next is the what is the mixed reference period, right? So this is the second approach of measuring the poverty. This is the second approach, that is mixed reference period. So what is the mixed reference period method introduced by NSO from 1999 to 2000 onwards? So it measures all consumption items over a 7-day recall period. It collects data on 5 high frequency items over the previous month and all other items over the previous year. It measures consumption of 5 low frequency items over the previous year and all other items over the previous 30 days. It measures annual income and expenditure for all items, or it collects data based on a daily recall period for all items. So do let me know, guys, what do you think, what can be the mixed reference period? So this is again, this is also one approach of measuring poverty. So here also when survey is conducted, so basically if survey is conducted as per the approach of mixed reference period, right? So what will happen? So what will happen there? वहां पे बेसिकली क्या होगा, वहां पे बेसिकली नाउ सर्वेयर विल आस्क द क्वेश्चन. सर्वेयर क्या क्वेश्चन पूछेगा? सर्वेयर क्वेश्चन पूछेगा कि हाउ मच मनी यू हैव स्पेंट on any particular thing in the previous 30 days and how much money you have spent in a particular item in the previous 7 days. ठीक है. So यहाँ पे right answer would be sorry, यहाँ पे he would be asking कि यहाँ पे आपने पिछले 365 days में, पिछले 365 days में how much money you have spent and यहाँ पे 30 days में आपने कितना पैसा यहाँ पे खर्च किया है, right? तो यहाँ पे there are 5 low frequency items. 5 low frequency items होते हैं. For example, I will tell you here कि what are the 5 low frequency items here. So यहाँ पे 5 low frequency items are basically clothing, footwear, durables, education and institutional health expenditure. ठीक है. क्लॉथिंग जो होती है, क्लॉथ्स हम जनरली एक साल में कितने बार, 2-3 बार 4 बार परचेस कर लेते हैं, राइट? सो वी कैन रिमेंबर दैट. फुटवेयर ऑल्सो वी कैन बाय 2 or 3 टाइम्स, राइट? ड्यूरेबल्स ऑल्सो, फॉर एग्जाम्पल कार हो गई, बाइक हो गई, आईफोन हो गया, दैट ऑल्सो वी परचेज रेयरली इन अ ईयर. एजुकेशन हो गया, हम हार्डली साल में एक बार फीस जमा करते हैं. इंस्टीट्यूशनल हेल्थ एक्सपेंडिचर भी हमारा बहुत ही रेयर होता है, राइट? सो वी कैन रिमेंबर ऑल दीज आइटम्स. सो वी कैन रिमेंबर the expenditure that we have made on these 5 items, and that is why they are known as low frequency items, क्योंकि बहुत ज्यादा repetitive नहीं होते हैं. So when survey is conducted as per the mixed reference period, so surveyor will ask basically कि how much money you have spent, right, on these 5 low frequency items in the time period of 365 days. So in the uniform reference period, we have taken only 30 days. ठीक है. Uniform for all items we have taken 30 days. But when we talk about the mixed reference period, so here we are taking 365 days for 5 low frequency items that we have discussed, and for the rest of the items 30 days, right? So surveyor will ask basically कि आपने 365 days में इन 5 low frequency items में कितना पैसा खर्च किया है, और इसके अलावा rest of the items में what how much you have spent in the previous 30 days. तो यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा चीजें रिफाइन होकर आ गई, राइट? अर्लियर हम क्या कर रहे थे, हम 30 डेज बेसिकली हम सीधा 30 डेज ले रहे थे. 30 डेज में वट एवर एक्सपेंडिचर यू हैव मेड इन 30 डेज, वी वर कंसिडरिंग ओनली दैट. बट हियर वी आर ऑल्सो कंसिडरिंग एक्सपेंडिचर मेड ऑन लो फ्रीक्वेंसी आइटम्स इन प्रीवियस 365 डेज, और यहाँ पे रेस्ट ऑफ द आइटम्स के लिए 30 डेज इज द बेसिकली लिमिट, राइट? सो यहाँ पे लेट्स रीड दिस. सो मिक्स रेफरेंस पीरियड मेथड इंट्रोड्यूस्ड बाय एनएसएसओ फ्रॉम 1999-2000 onwards involves measuring of consumption of 5 low frequency items: clothing, footwear, durables, education and institutional health expenditure over the previous year. For all other items, the consumption is measured over the previous 30 days. And this approach aims to provide a more accurate and comprehensive assessment of consumption patterns by using different reference periods for items with varying frequency of purchase, right? So Sid, you have given right answer. Now moving on to the question number 19, what reference period does the modified mixed reference period, right? तो यहां पे बेसिकली हम क्या कर रहे हैं, अंडर द यूआरपी देयर आर थ्री मेथड्स, ठीक है, यूआरपी हो गया, देन हमारा एमआरपी हो गया, दैट इज मिक्स्ड रेफरेंस पीरियड, एंड थर्ड इज द एमएमआरपी, राइट, दैट इज मॉडिफाइड मिक्स्ड रेफरेंस पीरियड. तो यहां पे रेफरेंस पीरियड वाज 30 डेज, हियर रेफरेंस पीरियड वाज 30 डेज, here the reference period, two reference periods are there, that is 365 days and the 30 days, and here three reference periods are there, that is 365 days, 30 days and the 7 days. So three reference periods were there, three reference periods are there in the case of modified mixed reference periods, right? So options are 365 days for all items, 7 days for all items, 30 days for all items. So 365 days for clothing, footwear, education, institutional, medical care and durable goods, 7 days for some food items and intoxicants, 30 days for other food items, fuel and miscellaneous services. Option number E is 7 days for clothing, footwear, educational, institutional, medical care and durable goods, 365 days for some food items and intoxicants, and 30 days for other food items, fuels and miscellaneous services. Do let me know what is the right answer here. So right answer here would be option number D only. तो यहाँ पे we are taking three reference periods. So what the surveyor will ask to the person कि बेसिकली आपने पिछले 365 डेज में 5 लो फ्रीक्वेंसी आइटम्स में कितना पैसा खर्च किया है, राइट, देन प्रीवियस 30 डेज में आपने कितना पैसा खर्च किया है, एंड 7 डेज में बेसिकली जो बहुत रेगुलर आइटम्स होते हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल एग हो गए, फॉर एग्जांपल मिल्क, फॉर एग्जांपल ब्रेड. सो यू कैन इजीली रिमेंबर द मनी स्पेंट इन द प्रीवियस 7 डेज ऑन दीज आइटम्स. बट जैसे अगर हम बोले कि आप अगर याद करिए कि आपने 30 डेज में कितना मिल्क का पैकेट कंज्यूम किया है, राइट, कितना ब्रेड आपने कंज्यूम किया, कितने एग्स आपने कंज्यूम किया, दैट वुड बी लिटिल डिफिकल्ट. सो हियर फर्दर रिफाइनमेंट इज देयर. सो वी हैव एडेड द 7 डेज रेफरेंस पीरियड आल्सो. 30 डेज एंड 365 डेज तो पहले से ही चलता आ रहा था, एंड दैट इज व्हाई ऑप्शन नंबर डी वुड बी द राइट आंसर हियर. सो अंडर द मॉडिफाइड मिक्स्ड रेफरेंस पीरियड फॉर डिफरेंट आइटम्स वर टेकन एज 365 days फॉर 5 low frequency items, 7 days for edible oil, egg, fish, meat, vegetables, fruit, spices, beverages, refreshments, processed food, pan tobacco, intoxicants, and 30 days for the remaining food items, fuel and light miscellaneous goods and services including non-institutional medical, rents and taxes. ठीक है, so this is the three approach, these all are the three approaches, that is URP, MRP and the MMRP, राइट. रेफरेंस पीरियड यहाँ पे 30 डेज, यहाँ पे रेफरेंस पीरियड इज 365 डेज एंड द 30 डेज, एंड यहाँ पे 3 रेफरेंस पीरियड्स आर देयर, 365 डेज, 30 डेज एंड द 7 डेज. गॉट इट. चलिए मूविंग ऑन टू द क्वेश्चन नंबर 20. क्वेश्चन नंबर 20th इज what type of unemployment is likely to occur in industries such as construction, catering or agriculture where workers are employed on a day-to-day basis. Options are structural unemployment, seasonal unemployment, frictional unemployment, casual unemployment or cyclical unemployment. So we are talking about the unemployment where workers are employed on a day to day basis and he is associated with the industries such as construction, catering or agriculture. So that would be the basically कैजुअल अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट, क्योंकि कैजुअल नेचर की जॉब से साथ एसोसिएटेड है, वो डेली बेसिस पर उसे वेजेस मिल रहे हैं, राइट. सो डेली बेसिस पर इफ ही इज गेटिंग द वेजेस, देन इन दैट केस व्हाट विल हैपन, यहाँ पर अगर जिस दिन उसने काम नहीं किया उसको वेज नहीं मिलेगी, राइट. सो दैट इज अ काइंड ऑफ कैजुअल अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट. ठीक है जी. तो यहाँ पे ऐसे सेक्टर, फॉर एग्जांपल कंस्ट्रक्शन इज वन सच सेक्टर, कैटरिंग इज वन सच सेक्टर, एग्रीकल्चर इज वन सच सेक्टर, जहां पे बेसिकली कुछ दिन काम रहता है उसके बाद काम नहीं रहता है. सो द पर्सन एसोसिएटेड विद दीज इंडस्ट्रीज इफ दे गेट अनएम्प्लॉयड, सो दैट इज द बेसिकली कैजुअल अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट, राइट. सो you can read the explanation here. Casual unemployment occurs in industries like construction, catering or agriculture where workers are often hired on a day-to-day basis or for short-term contracts. These contracts can be terminated at any time, leading to periods where workers may be without employment. Unlike other types of unemployment, casual unemployment is characterized by its unpredictability and short duration, often influenced by the immediate need for labor and project-based work in these industries. ठीक है. So these are the 20 questions for the day. And now guys, this is the achiever question. You know the rule of achiever question. So those who would be giving the right answer of this achiever question in the comment box, their name would be displayed in the next session. So the question is, which of the following correctly defines net factor income from abroad in the context of national income accounting? Options are the total income earned by domestic factors of production within the domestic economy, the difference between gross national income and gross domestic service, gross domestic product, the net income earned by domestic factors of production from investments abroad minus the income earned by foreign factors of production within the domestic economy, the difference between exports and imports of goods and services, and the total income earned by foreign nationals working within the domestic economy. So the right answer of this question you have to give in the comment box, not in the live chat box. And guys, those who would be giving the right answer, their name would be displayed in the next session. So in the next session, first we would be discussing the achievers question, then we would be discussing the agenda of that day. Right. So these all are the 20 questions which are very, very important. So you should revise it. And guys, those who are preparing for RBI Grade B 2025 examination, or those who are planning to prepare for RBI Grade B 2025 examination, we have started this course for them, that is RBI Grade B Laksh batch. And as a part of this course, we are providing the live classes, we are providing the MCQs, we are providing the notes, then descriptive writing component, very, very important, interview guidance program, and one-on-one mentorship. So the two important features that I would like personally, that is live classes and the one-on-one mentorship. So in this one-on-one mentorship, whenever you have doubt, you can get connected with the mentor, right? जो भी आपकी doubt है, that will be resolved by the mentor. And second is the live classes. So extensive live classes shall be provided as a part of this course. And in the live classes, we are not only focusing about the completion of syllabus, rather we would be focusing on three important areas. That is, syllabus is first, very, very important, we have to complete the syllabus. Then second, we are focusing on foundation building, right? Foundation building. And third is the knowledge enrichment. Okay, so if you belong to science background, if you belong to arts background, so do not worry about that, guys, because in the live classes you are not supposed to have previous knowledge of any subject. We are starting the subjects from very scratch. सारी चीजें एकदम स्क्रैच से स्टार्ट होंगी, कंसीडरिंग दैट यू आर कंप्लीटली न्यू टू द सब्जेक्ट. उसमें कुछ भी ऐसा नहीं रहेगा कि हम ये मानकर चलेंगे कि आपने इकोनॉमिक्स पढ़ा हुआ है, नहीं. वी वुड बी स्टार्टिंग द थिंग्स फ्रॉम वेरी स्क्रैच, एक एक चीज आपको समझाते हुए इन अ वेरी लेमन लैंग्वेज विथ रियलिस्टिक एग्जांपल्स. सो ईच थिंग्स वुड बी टोल्ड इन अ वेरी स्पेसिफिक वे, बहुत अच्छे तरीके से समझाया जाएगा. वी वुड बी फोकसिंग ऑन द डिस्क्रिप्टिव राइटिंग ऑल्सो. तो क्लासेस वुड बी डेडिकेटेड फॉर डिस्क्रिप्टिव राइटिंग ऑल्सो, विच हैज द ह्यूज वेटेज इन फेज 2 ऑफ द एग्जामिनेशन, राइट. So guys, phase 1 की जो classes है that have already started. Phase 2 की classes are about to start very soon. So if you want to enroll, you can check the link given in the description of this video. So you can click on the link. You can check all the important details with respect to this course, that is foundation course. And in order to subscribe the course, you can use the coupon code Prakash. This is my name, and that will also work as the coupon code. So when you visit the testbook.com, there you can see the course of subscribing. If you want to subscribe the course, you can check the apply coupon link, right? And in the apply coupon option, you can apply the coupon code Prakash, and after applying this, you can see a drastic discount on the final prices. And further, you have to join this Telegram group. This is my personal Telegram group. So guys, ये आप अगर यहाँ पे whatever doubt you have, चाहे वो छोटा डाउट हो चाहे बड़ा डाउट हो, यू कैन सिंपली ज्वाइन दिस टेलीग्राम ग्रुप. एंड आफ्टर ज्वाइनिंग दिस टेलीग्राम ग्रुप, वट एवर डाउट्स यू हैव, यू कैन सिंपली पोस्ट इन द ग्रुप ओनली. आप सीधा ग्रुप पे पोस्ट करिए, एंड आई विल पर्सनली बी टेकिंग केयर ऑफ योर क्वेरी, बिकॉज द रीजन इज दैट दिस इज माई पर्सनल ग्रुप. एंड ऑल्सो जब भी आपको जरूरत है तो रियल टाइम बेसिस पे योर क्वेरी विल गेट रिजॉल्व. एंड ऑल्सो रेगुलरली आई शेयर सम इंपॉर्टेंट अपडेट्स विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू द इंपॉर्टेंट सेशंस और इंपॉर्टेंट एग्जामिनेशन अपडेट्स, वो भी मैं शेयर करता रहता हूँ, राइट. सो ये दोनों काम करिए. इन ऑर्डर टू सब्सक्राइब द कोर्स, यूज द कूपन कोड प्रकाश, एंड यहाँ पे बेसिकली यू कैन ज्वाइन दिस टेलीग्राम ग्रुप. सो थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर अटेंडिंग द सेशन. आई होप यू लव द डिस्कशन, एंड we would be discussing some important MCQs in the next session. So till then, goodbye guys, and happy learning. All the very best for your examination.